Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just
Sorry, we are live.
jerk.
Well, it was
I'm
time.
just
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
Welcome,
Totally kidding.
everybody, to the Unready room. Unready as always. I'm Dan Gunther. With me, of course, is the wonderful Brandi Jackola. How's it
Oh,
going?
thanks. It's fine. This is a hard episode for me.
Yeah. We'll get there. Oof. Um, I see that your ocular orbs are still in your cranium. How did Mbenga put that? Good lord.
Yeah, I just so eye violence. I have a problem with eye
Oh, that's
violence.
right too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that messed me up pretty bad. Yeah, there were some things here that messed me up pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. There's yeah, man, I forgot about that aspect. Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, if you couldn't tell already, we are here today to talk about the Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode Through the Lens of Time, which is the 5th episode of season 3, which marks this as the halfway point as well through season 3, which has come far too quickly. But first of all, I guess welcome to everybody, all the regulars joining us. I see you in the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Welcome to everybody who's watching later. We appreciate you as well. And a special shout out to all the fine folks that are at STLV this weekend. I'm seeing pictures, I'm
Okay.
seeing posts, I'm seeing stories, and I'm incredibly jealous.
I've never been, and I don't know that I'll ever have the opportunity to go unless somebody gives me a lot of money.
Yeah, I've been a few times, and it's been priced out of my reach lately, as well as a number of other factors going on
Mm-hmm.
that don't make me want to travel to the US. But we'll just shove that off to the side.
Yeah,
And
honestly, I don't blame you. We are basically one step away from being a dictatorship. So
well, let's hope that Star Trek continues to be a signpost to help prevent that. I don't know. Anyway.
we'll see. We'll
Oof.
see.
Well, yes, Tristan, I did see that. The static warp bubble action figure. That might be one of my new favorite things. That was pretty great. Um, yeah, and I noticed that too. Um, Apparently it's being spelled on the app as Lense.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that the versions we got have it spelled correctly. So
Yeah.
somewhere along the line, somebody did something very
And the thing is, when you're typing in stuff like that, it will underline it and tell you when it's wrong, and they
yeah.
just didn't care.
Well, I mean, the fact that it is an actual word means it probably didn't get underlined, but it's it's
Yeah,
the
but
incorrect word for that title for sure.
yeah, well, Lense is the misspelling,
Yeah.
so I looked it up
Yeah.
just to be sure.
I mean, it's the verb as opposed to, but yeah, it's the wrong. It's not the
Yeah,
noun.
yeah, they need a grammar nerd there. I volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely. All
Just
right.
saying.
Well, let's get into this episode. Lots going on in this episode. I have a feeling a lot of implications for future episodes. There's a lot of setup here, but also a lot of cues taken from prior episodes. So that's probably a good place to start. We have the what I joked in the podcast was the love quadrilateral going on now. I don't know that it's a square or a rectangle, maybe some sort of rhombus. I don't know. But we've got Spock, Chapel, and Corby, and also La'an. So things are kind of all going various ways there. And I like that we get this confirmation early on that Spock and La'an have started something. It's doesn't sound too serious, at least on La'an's part, yet, but it's they're hanging out. They're having fun, as she says.
I think that it's probably a little more serious than she's letting on. She just doesn't wanna tell Christine that.
Or she doesn't want to tell herself that too.
That too. That too. But, yeah, they're Spock and La'an are a really good pair, actually, especially for this episode.
Yeah,
They're the
definitely.
Ripley. They're the Ripley in this episode, the 2 of them, because
Mhm.
they are basing their decisions on facts and not doing anything stupid, Gamble.
Oh man.
So
Okay. There are so many bad decisions in this episode.
so many.
It drives me insane. So,
Mhm,
yeah, they go down to the planet. They're helping with this archaeological expedition of Roger Corby's. Spock initially doesn't join the landing party as a precaution against the awkwardness, but eventually does have to join them. And okay, there's one moment that jumps out to me that drove me nuts that I actively didn't like in this episode, and it's a bit of a trope where they go inside the temple. Okay, there's lots of bad decisions that happen before that too.
mhm.
Yeah, let's do it in order, I guess. First of all, Roger Corby's, blood is required. There's a to gain access, right? They need to do a sacrifice of some kind. So Corby whips out a knife and starts walking towards the building. I'm like, okay, first of all, human blood, you sure that's gonna work? Second of all, like, come on. Um, Chapel reasonably is like, whoa, slow your roll. Like, that's ridiculous. But then she goes to the door and like jams her hand in this alien thing, which pricks her finger and gives a drop of blood. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that is ridiculously dumb. I like on
Yeah.
Earth you'd be worried about tetanus.
Exactly!
On an
Thank you.
on an alien planet, who knows what it would be that would be an issue. Like, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and, when Dave and I were rewatching it, he ex right as that scene happened, he said, "And now she has tetanus."
Probably not. Probably something different because it's an alien biosphere. But
Yeah.
like Gamble does scan her and says, "Oh, there's nothing in your bloodstream. How do you feel?" And like Chapel's attitude is like, "Don't worry about it. Back off. I'm fine. You're a medical professional, lady. Like, what are you doing?"
She's caught in, the Roger Corby archaeological fever is what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, actually, Trek Core's review of this episode had a really good line at the end, which is Chapel and Corby are a pretty toxic couple, actually, reinforcing each other's recklessness. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And we all know where that recklessness gets him in the end, don't we?
Yes, indeed we do. Yeah. I was wondering if we'd see, like, when I first started seeing this episode, I was like, is this the episode where he goes missing? Because, like, he's investigating the things that will eventually get him there, right?
Yep.
Immortality. Um, but that's basically it. That's what he's chasing when he arrives at the ultimate solution to his yeah, it's not good. Go watch the original series, guys. It's dark.
It is, it really is, especially that episode because, just the way that episode ends is
Yeah.
basically just, "Why? Why did you do any of this, you jerk?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Spock does join the landing party, and I do enjoy a bit of the interplay between him and Corby because, like, there's this underlying thing with Chapel, which is obviously a part of it, but it's never like explicitly on at the forefront. There's a lot of, I think, actual butting of heads due to basic philosophies between the two of them,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. Like, they are two completely different people.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Spock is the senior science officer, but he's also not an gung-ho idiot.
Yes. That should be,
Yeah, I'm looking
yeah.
at you, Raj.
If they ever go to like a conference or something and have to wear little name tags like Spock, science officer, Roger Corby, gung ho idiot. It's perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gain access to this ruin through Chapel jamming her hand in alien devices that have blades in them or pokers or whatever. And they get inside. Eventually they find a pair of corpses and they're like, the risk level to the landing party has risen. Starfleet protocol says we need to exit the building and alert the ship. That's all. The door is like 10 meters, 20 yards away. I don't get the big argument that they're like, well, we can't do that. We have to press on. Scientific is going to take you 5 minutes. All you're doing is alerting the ship. And
Mhm.
maybe it wouldn't have even prevented what happens, but it would have like put them on a course of more, you know, being more careful and more awareness, situational awareness. Like I hated that part. I don't understand why
Yeah.
they're all arguing against Spock. Like this doesn't.
It's just like everybody arguing against Ripley for bringing the infected with an alien parasite back onto the Nostromo, which does
Mhm.
what? Oh, right. Lays waste to everyone but her and the cat.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I just don't get like and like later on, like after everything goes bad, they the alien guy runs out and gets vaporized, right? But like that wouldn't have happened yet because the thing that happens to Gamble and they're able to get outside to beam him up. So like that wasn't there yet. I don't understand why there's such a resistance to take 10 steps, call the ship.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like. And then
Yeah,
Gamble pays the price for that, I think.
he does pay the price for it because he also does something stupid by touching something that he doesn't know what it is. Don't
Mhm.
go into a place and start touching stuff, people.
Yeah.
That is how you get killed.
Yes, absolutely. So I can't imagine what Mbenga is going through by the end of this episode
Mm.
because let's count them all down, right? Gamble was there on temporary assignment and was supposed to leave when Chapel came back, but he pushed to have him stay. Uh, and then he pushed to have him be assigned to landing parties because he really, really wanted to, and he wasn't ready, obviously. I would feel so guilty if I were in Benga, and that's terrible. Like that's awful.
It really is bad, and he chooses to be the one to inform Gamble's parents, as
Yeah.
well he should, because
Yeah.
that's his fault.
Yeah. So yeah, Gamble, everybody's kind of sticking their hands where they don't belong. Um and
Except Spock.
except Spock. Well, even Spock, he gets a nick on his hand.
But that's the thing, it didn't happen yet. So it's
But it did
yes,
happen.
that he has no idea how it happened, and it's very questionable as to how it happened. It's just weird.
Yeah,
It's
but then
weird.
we see him do it later, so he was
Mhm.
sticking his
Yeah.
hands where they don't belong.
Yeah, well, they were trying to get out. And so I get that at this point, but you wouldn't have been in peril if you had just anyway, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stop harping on it. Sorry.
No, that's I please keep harping on it because that bugged me. So yeah, Gamble loses his eyes essentially, and this orb that contains something that explodes in his face. He's beamed up to the ship and scanned by Mbenga, and he doesn't have any brain patterns. There's no brain activity.
He's brain dead.
Yeah, so at that moment I was like, okay, this is not Gamble. He's gone.
Mhm.
Um, and like this actor, he's also very, very good
So good.
because like once you know, like you suspect that at that point, once it's confirmed later in the episode that just like there's nothing left, but he still goes into the like scared, frightened gamble voice to try and appeal to your sensibilities. It's so horrific, and just like this, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, especially when the camera turns around and you see Mbenga still believes that there's something of him in there, and it's just like,
Mhm.
oh my god, that was tough.
It was, and it's the thing is I understand why Mbenga wants to believe that there's still something in there because the guilt that is coming up on him right now
Mm-hmm.
is going to get heavier and heavier, and
Yeah.
he wants to believe that this kid isn't gone, but I knew the first time we watched it, once he touched that thing, that was it. He was dead.
Mm.
The frickin' what are they called again? I wrote it down. Can't read my own writing because I'm nearsighted and farsighted.
Sorry, what do
Vesda,
you?
is that what it is?
Oh, the alien. Yeah, the Vesda.
Vesda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was I was just like, nope, that guy, that's something else now. And I was hoping I was wrong. I was so hoping I was wrong.
Yeah. I do wish that we got to know him a little bit better. It
Yeah.
would have been even worse if we had, though, too. But
Yeah, but
I,
he
I
was
really
so
like this
good.
character. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I like him. I like the actor. I think that he could have done a lot more
Hmm.
on the Enterprise, and it just it's one of those I don't know, dangers about exploring space, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, he dies pretty much immediately. We figure here. Every time Mbenga's not looking at him, he's looking around with eyes that don't see, and yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Captain Battelle. We need to talk
She
about
goes
her.
she goes Gorn, man. She freaking goes Gorn.
And apparently the Vesda and the Gorn have some ancient beef.
Well, I think that even the Gorn recognize that these entities are irredeemable, I guess is the best word.
Hmm.
Because and they're hard to fight because they're in a state of quantum flux. And yeah, I can imagine that of all the beings in the universe, the only thing that the Gorn is really afraid of is the Vesta.
That could be, yeah. Um, I loved that Captain Battelle got to do some cool stuff in this episode. And I mean, I know a lot of it is stunt doubles and stuff, but like to be able to play that, and like that must have been fun, especially
Hmm.
since she's been spending so much time basically convalescing and kind of playing that role, to do something so active. And I feel like that would have been a fun part for her.
Agree. And I think that the her sensing the Vesda without actually knowing that's what was happening. She's got a headache, and that's why she goes to sick bay,
Hmm.
is because she's got this headache, and then she sees Gamble's body with the Vesda inside, and she's like, she goes all growly and jumpy and kicking butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it was a very visceral moment, and you're kind of like, what the heck is happening? And yeah, she recognizes him. That's I hope we get some follow-up on that, and I'm sure we will. Like I'm sure the Vesda for sure, but like also I hope Battelle has a big part in whatever the resolution to this storyline is, because I'm really curious about that.
I feel like she's their Vesda detector now.
Yeah.
So, use that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this the Vesda, let's talk about them a little bit, because Tristan brings up a good point here. Battelle says something like Vesda Pa or something when she
Hmm.
recognizes this thing. Pa wraiths, maybe some sort of connection there, possible.
That would make sense. Because the paw wraiths are pretty awful.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, it's not
there's a
like
lot of
there's a good paw wraith.
and there's a lot of similarities there.
Mhm.
The non-corporeal, able to take over other bodies and all that kind of stuff. So could
Well,
be
and this
interesting.
is also a very ancient life form.
Hmm.
So, it could have easily just started the whole paw wraith stuff.
Yeah, could be. Absolutely. But yeah, I really like this deep horror, like this cosmic horror thing that reaches way back into the past, and that like they're dipping their toe in something they just don't understand whatsoever. It's a fun thing to like kind of craft out the lore a little bit, and I don't know. I love stuff like that because it's so deeply unknowable when it comes down to
Mm.
it, that like it's so far beyond the short lives of our heroes that like yeah, they're messing with stuff they can't possibly understand.
Yep. And usually that's when people end up dead.
Yes, definitely. So anything else that you wanted to talk about with this, or with this part of the episode, or before we
Uh,
with the
I
Vesda, or
I I am curious, um, because it kind of has been suggested, not like directly, that um, the Vesda were not. I mean, obviously, we were at one time corporeal.
Mhm.
So I would like to find out the backstory of that. I would like to find out, was the race called the Vesda before? Was that a name given to them
Mm.
by their jailers? Um, it's just there's so much that's unknowable. And did they do this with the intent of being immortal, and then once they realized that they were immortal in a way because they're in a quantum state of flux, and they just figure like, well, morals don't matter anymore. Let's do what we want.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because yeah, with Corby's quest for this immortality, does that necessarily follow then that like you will just become evil basically?
Mm,
Because like you said, it just the matters of corporeal beings, or beings that just live for a flash of an instant compared to you, just suddenly become, trivial to you. And
mhm,
like the math of it seems to be like, yeah, it would. Like, why would you care? They're a fruit fly compared to you, kind of thing.
yeah.
Ugh, that's chilling. I don't like that.
I don't either, but unfortunately, these are the thoughts I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I hope Corby is thinking them too, but I don't think he is.
Mm,
I don't think he's
mm,
learning anything here.
no, and, it would be interesting actually to take the whole Corby story to its almost conclusion so that we find out how he ended up being
Hmm.
gravely injured, turning himself into an android, but, it's not really him, like, Corby is dead at this point, or at least that's what we assume. I would like some answers on
Yeah.
that, and if they've introduced Corby into this series, which they have, obviously, not if, why would they do that and not show us the journey? So I'm
Hmm.
hoping.
That'd be interesting. Knowing Corby, he probably wasn't even actually gravely injured. He just really wanted it. He was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
"This is a way to
exactly
be
yep.
immortal.
Mhm.
I lie down on this spinny turntable and I turn
Yep.
into an android."
Yeah, in a blue and green jumpsuit or something. It's just
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so let's talk about the actual what they're doing on this planet, which is interesting. So they pass from one chamber into the next, or so they think. They're actually still just in that same first chamber, but in groups of two. Basically, they all go into different ones and different dimensional planes, basically. So they're occupying the same space but different dimensions, which was really cool. Like it was a
Yes.
fun like puzzle. It felt like almost video gamey to me. Like you kind of have to figure
Yes.
out this puzzle.
Mhm.
Um, I loved that. I thought that was a really fun take.
I agree, and, um, I know, of course, that they probably had the VR wall for the backgrounds and whatnot, but it was
Mhm.
still beautifully done, and, the set that they did obviously build was amazing,
Yeah.
and, I mean, and obviously, I know that there were visual effects added, but even so, just like the first room that they're in, which has the sort of lock and key, um, it's everything's so cool, and the colors, and it really looks like a palace,
Mhm.
but it's a prison, and so and I'm just like, "Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, no, this is horrible." So, but yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous set, absolutely stunning visual effects for this entire building.
Mhm. I also love that there's aspects to it that, like, are relevant to the plot that we figure out, but there's also other mysteries that never really get addressed or solved or anything.
So
It's just a weird place. Like, there's weird
yep.
stuff going on. The one thing for me was the big, huge statue there,
Mhm,
and I think it's Lon who scans it and says there's a life form reading.
mhm.
And I don't think she's detecting the Vesda things that Spock, because that's in the
No.
thing in Spock and Corby's version. She's specifically talking about that statue, and I'm like, that's just a weird thing that we don't learn more about, and vaguely creepy.
Is it a warden?
Yeah, right?
Might be a
Ooh,
warden. I don't know. Somebody who volunteered to be trapped there so that they could make sure that none of these jerks escaped, but, then a bunch of humans and a Vulcan come in and mess that all up.
yeah. And so there's also the whole effect preceding cause thing. There's some timey-wimey stuff going on. I love the Spock noticing he has an injury, like we talked about before, and it's like, I don't recall that happening. And then later on, it happens, and he's like, "Oh, the effect preceding cause thing is fun." So like, there's a bridge to the doorway, and in order to have gone across it, it has to have been activated. But in order to activate it, they have to be on the other side. Therefore, we can just walk over there.
Yeah.
Whew,
Well,
leap of faith
and
indeed.
yeah, and that was and here, this dates me big time, but, the first thing I thought of was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
Of course, yeah,
the leap
absolutely.
of faith part,
Yeah.
because they
And then
basically
the
did the
camera
same
moves
thing.
and you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine."
Yeah.
How did you not see
They
that?
basically step off she steps off it just the pretty much the same way, almost pretty much the same way, and it's just like, "Yeah, okay," but, at least he actually didn't die on the way to, uh to get the Holy Grail and ended up letting it go because, it's something that doesn't belong in the hands of mortals.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's almost an analog to that here too, because the artifact that has like merged all the realities is sitting there, and it's gorgeous, and like honestly, I would love that on my mantle. Like,
Right?
what a cool thing. And Corby really wants it, and they're like, you can't, you have to leave it. It's the only thing keeping us together. And like, he almost looks like he's going to be like, sod it, I'm taking it, screw all y'all. But no, thankfully he doesn't.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
So Dave has a great question here, because there's so what did they say about this camera, that it like it's a little bit woo woo, like
Yeah,
it
Beta's camera is a little woo-woo.
it detects the like emotional resonance of, and knows to zoom in, and because of temperature and blah blah blah, and because of that, sort of. They kind of gloss over this, but because of that, it's able to see across the dimensions because it's just picking up the emotional resonance of the people there or something. I'm like,
Sure.
all right, plot device that
Sure.
lets them clue into what's going on. Okay. It's
Weird.
pretty thin, I think, but okay.
Yeah, that's one of those stumbling blocks where I'm just like, no, no, that was a dumb idea. You should have taken that out.
Yeah. Yeah. If yeah, why isn't that now? Okay, I didn't even think of this part of the camera's operation, but even earlier when like Beto's like, I sent it on ahead into the next chamber, and this is what it's showing us. I'm like, okay, why aren't these floating cameras as part of standard Starfleet landing party equipment? Like,
Right?
we kind of have that now. Like, you can send a little unmanned drone up ahead to scout for
Mhm.
stuff. Like, we have that now. Like, why don't they do that? That makes a lot of sense.
It really does, and the thing is that a tricorder can't tell you everything, so why wouldn't you have a drone that you can send into an unknown situation and, get some information before you walk in and get someone killed?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. It's missed opportunity. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of Beto too, I like his inclusion in this, and because he's not Starfleet and he's not as gung ho as Roger Corby, for example, he kind of is a little bit out of his depth, a little bit in over his head, and I like that Uhura gets the chance to kind of be a bit of a mentor here. She's still an
Mhm.
ensign. She's been in the role of the mentee, but now she gets to kind of handhold this guy through like the really weird Starfleet stuff that like he is not used to.
Yeah, plus she has a crush on him,
Well, there's that.
and he has a crush on her, I mean, that's obvious.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I appreciated Beto in this episode. I thought his performance was fun too, and I'm assuming we're going to be getting that documentary of his coming up at some point. So,
Mm, I wonder. Actually, I already know. But I'm not gonna say if there's a documentary or not,
no,
because
I'm
maybe the
assuming.
documentary gets shut down. Maybe Beto doesn't wanna do it anymore. There's so many things that, could be possible, and I'm not telling you which one's right. Mhm.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going by what's in this episode. So,
No, the fact that he mentions it kinda is one of those moments where it's like, "Ah, they hung a lantern on that, so it's probably going to happen."
mhm. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate him in this episode. I think he's a good actor, and I'm curious to see more, I guess, in the future.
Same. I like him. I've liked him since episode 2 when he first showed up, and, I think he's adorable. I just I just, yeah, I wanna see more of him.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So one other thing that I really want to talk about in this episode is Pelia because I
Mm,
love her in
mhm.
this. Um there's a bunch of moments with her, but of course the best is well, okay, there's a little bit of history of her playing to the camera because of the scene we get at the beginning of the episode in the briefing, but at the end when they're talking about like what was that evil, blah blah blah, and Pike's like, oh, good and evil are relative terms, and Pelia's like, no, I disagree, there's evil in this universe just like there's good, and whatever that was, it was evil, and it does this chilling monologue. It's really good as the camera like pushes in on her. And then at the end, she's like turns to Beto, do you want another one for the camera? And he's just like, no, I'm good. Suit yourself. I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, Lanthanites are obviously, drama queens. So
Yes.
or at least Pelia is a drama queen.
Yeah, absolutely. And her other line, of course, I have no scientific way of putting it, but whatever it is gives me the heebie jeebies.
Yeah. Yeah, agree. It was one of those horror episodes that was, what's the word I'm looking for here? It didn't require a lot of visual effects. It didn't require a lot of monsters. It was actually pretty contained as far as what happened, but it just, that they took this guy that we all loved and killed him, and evil was put into him. It's just devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just, I'm not ever going to feel good about it, because why? How could I loved him.
Yeah. The ultimate, the end where he's still trying to convince Mbenga, which we've talked a bit about, but they're not buying it. I think it's Pelia who shoots him in the back, which
Hmm.
forces the entity out of him. And um as Matthew says here, Scotty has very quick hands. Now, did it not remind you of, I think it's Mariner?
Hmm.
Mariner and Tendi are trying to trap the non-corporeal life form in a container. In
Hmm.
like episode 2 of Lower Decks. I love that. Scotty's just like, whoop. That
Yep.
was great.
Yeah, they got it to shrink itself. Oh, I bet you can't do this. Kept shrinking itself and shrinking itself till they just shoved it in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it throws it in the air and beams it. We think somewhere, but no, it's just held in the pattern buffer apparently, which I don't know if that was the best idea. I would have just
That
like
was a
atomized
terrible
it
idea.
and yeah.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea. But then again, this thing is in a state of flux. How do you destroy it?
I don't I mean the, what did they do to the red jack entity? Was it like beamed it out into space in wide dispersal so that's like
Yeah,
that's what they should have done. But
that
no,
is exactly what they
Scotty
should have done.
Scotty keeps it in the transporter buffer, and of course we get that, the camera showing the computer console. It looks normal, and then it flashes to the alien symbols, and then twitches back to normal, and you're like, okay, yeah,
Well, and
this
it actually says in big red letters, Vesda life form.
is just in case you weren't, yeah.
Yeah, just in case you didn't think that you knew what was going on. It just hung a big red lantern on it.
Yeah, just in case somebody was watching and say, "Oh, the holodeck stuff from last episode's still causing problems," I guess. No.
No,
Oh,
no. It's just
yeah. So we've got Gamble, who's dead. We've got the life form in the Enterprise transporter buffer, I guess, or invading the Enterprise systems or something. Um, I'm of two minds of this because, like, I don't want it to come back into Gamble somehow.
mm,
Um, I don't want that. Like, that's he needs to be put to rest. But B, I love the actor. So
mhm.
it'd be cool if he kept getting work. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I I don't want that either, really. Especially since, I mean, honestly, wouldn't they send his body back to his parents?
Yeah, or a burial at space in space or something, right? Like
Yeah. Well, I don't think I don't know, but apparently this has probably never occurred to them. But considering that this entity had taken control of him, I wouldn't take any chances by just firing it into space and letting it
mm,
possibly be rediscovered. I would
ooh,
probably take that somewhere where Section 31 keeps all the horrible things.
no, don't give it to them. No, no,
Okay, maybe not that, but maybe just I don't know, just take some safeguards to make sure that that body can't be used again, you know?
Yeah,
Just let him have peace.
I agree. Absolutely. So yeah, we get our cosmic Lovecraftian horror in this episode, which is fun, um, but disturbing and clearly implications for future episodes. But yeah, Matthew, that's what I was thinking. Into a son, like
Mhm.
regardless of what his final wishes were. Sorry,
Mhm.
Gamble. No, we're taking this out of your hands. Ugh.
Yeah, there are a lot of things I would wish to fire into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
take a
just
while to list.
watch it. Yeah, just watch it, the little as it hits the core and completely is obliterated.
Yeah. Well, is there anything from this episode we haven't mentioned slash final thoughts and rating for Through the Lens of Time?
I feel like Chapel is kind of looking at Corby with rose-colored glasses.
Absolutely.
And I think that she has not figured out that though I'm sure that he loves her, that his quest is always going to rank higher than she will. She doesn't know that yet.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's kind of sad because it seems like Chapel doesn't have very good judgment when it comes to men. Not that I'm saying Spock was a bad call, but the just, just the way she goes into relationships or doesn't, the way that she holds a part of herself away from it. But it seems like with Corby, she's all in, and that's even more dangerous because I don't think he is.
Mm. So, okay, so let's talk about this for a minute too. So, I, I'm misremembering the dialogue completely, but because Trelane, or Rhys Darby's character, Trelane, we'll say,
Yeah.
says he saw him traipsing about on the old home world. That's the line, right? Do they explicitly link that to the other planet they're talking about in the episode, or like
Not
is
that I'm
that
aware of.
confirmed?
I don't think so. Because the planet they were on before this was Vidia 9.
Vadia 9, yeah.
Yeah, and this is, of course, what is this planet? I don't remember. I wrote it down. I gotta put my glasses on so I can read my own handwriting. Yeah,
I'm trying to
sexy
do like
librarian time. Okay, so um, I know it's under currently the control of the Macroon, but there's mention of ancient astronauts and blood magic and stuff.
okay, so yeah, this is Vadia 9.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah,
Right.
Memory Alpha does say that this was the long forgotten homeworld of the Q.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because he says in Wedding Bell Blues, they were conducting an archaeological dig on Vadia 9. And Trelane does say they were digging about on the old homeworld. So it could have been a separate, but yeah, I would contend it was the same. So yeah, this would seem to be the Q homeworld. Interesting.
Oh, I have so many questions. So many questions.
Yeah.
Just,
So they could be setting up a big, like, are the Q related to this evil species maybe somehow?
yeah. It's
It's
interesting.
it's possible. Will they touch that or not? I don't know.
I don't either. And honestly, I don't always feel like you have to explain everything about the
Mhm.
Q continuum. And so I don't want like a bunch of definitive answers on, yes, they did this and this prison was made by them for this reason. And I don't know that I need all of that.
Yeah. So like there's correlation, but I don't know that you can say this for certain because they haven't directly linked, right?
Hmm.
Like this, so the species that achieved immortality through harnessing quantum uncertainty was the Q. Maybe not
Maybe.
though. Like we don't know
We
that,
don't know.
but it's possible.
Yeah, it
No.
is possible. But there are a lot of things that are possible in the universe that we lowly humans and corporeal beings just can't understand.
Mm-hmm. I do like where your mind is going though here. So there's interesting stuff for sure. I'm curious to see where it goes. So yeah, cool. If this all turns out to be right, like full credit to you, Tristan, on this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, sorry. So final thoughts and rating.
Um, I love a good horror Star Trek, but this one broke my heart. And I think it broke a lot of people's hearts because I can't think of anyone who wouldn't have liked Gamble. So
Yeah.
um, it was a great kind of sort of psychological horror, really. There isn't a lot of in your face stuff except when they're looking into one of those what the well of souls, let's say. And they see one of the orbs starting to float up and then you see the monster inside it. And that was all you get. Other than that, the rest of the monsters are unseen, and that is even creepier to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked the creepiness of it. Um, I I was frustrated by the really stupid decisions, but
Yes.
again, it's actually playing to type for Corby, and Chapel's falling into that same pit. So that's interesting. I want to see what goes on there, and because we know, of course, eventually he does leave her. So uh, there is that. Um, I I liked a lot of this episode. There were a few little niggles, like the whole camera thing. This is kind of just like, eh. Um, I really appreciated uh, Dr. Mbanga on this episode and the things that he struggled with and the guilt that I'm sure he's going to be feeling for the rest of his life for getting that young man killed. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I it's something that has basically opened a can of worms, and I'm not sure where those worms are going to slither off to. So I am looking forward to seeing how they continue this story because it's terrifying to fight something that is not always there, that is not a physical entity. How do you do that? So that'll be interesting. I also would like to see Captain Batel go Gorn again. I think that was really cool. She
Oh, Gorn
was,
again.
yeah, Gorn again. She was Gorn again.
I like it.
Oh,
So
Gorn
many
again.
Gorn puns. So many.
So
Oh,
many.
yeah.
So many. So I enjoyed this episode. And it was interesting. It's starting to really give us more insight into Corby and into Christine by extension. And I do like how Spock and La'an are a thing. I'm fully in support of this. Of course, I know it doesn't last, but something isn't beautiful because it lasts.
Hmm.
So, you know, you have to take what you can get when you can get it, and I think that's what they're doing. So I will give this. Let me consult my notes because I have so many. I will give this one giant uh, in phase uh, in uh, hitchhiker. There it is,
Hmm.
hitchhiker. One big quantum phasing hitchhiker.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode, with the exception of, like you mentioned, the couple little niggling bits there. But yeah, it's a dip into that cosmic horror vibe that I thought was really enjoyable in this. And yeah, the continuation of the character things going on with them as well, I think is important. So, Chapel and Corby and Spock was just in top form here. I love the little hints too that, like, Spock's kind of his affectations are rubbing off on Laan when she says fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I like that moment. That was good. And nice little just tiny callback to Spock and his experience with Alice in Wonderland when he says curiouser and curiouser. I liked that. That
Mm-hmm.
was lovely. But yeah, just a really great episode. I'm gonna give it one really impressive visual effect of the Enterprise using its deflector to vaporize the front of a mountain. That was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and Corby, man, oh, that guy's bad news. And
He really is.
he makes Chapel bad news too. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the effect they have on each other. It's
I
not
I
good.
don't either. And yeah, it's just it makes me want to go rewatch What Are Little Girls Made Of?
Yeah.
But I don't think I can take that much heartache right now.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Interestingly enough, in the episode What Are Little Girls Made Of, I think Chapel has the line to Spock, "Have you ever been engaged, Mr. Spock?" And like, she knows he has. She knows he
Mm-hmm.
has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate you. Please like this video if you liked it, and carry on the conversation in the comments. Lots of really interesting speculation coming out of this episode, and I think we're going to be talking about it for a while to come for sure. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next one, which is The Salot Who Ate Its Tail, which is a really fun episode title. And I'm curious what everybody kind of thinks that one's going to be about. But anyway, live long and prosper, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. And if you're watching this at STLV, I don't know what you're doing. Go enjoy STLV. Watch this later and have fun. I'm very jealous. Bye.